don't know why it's not usually up there. We see what people in the world are seeing, but I don't know why we're not seeing it. All right, we're good now. We're alive.
All right, so let's begin the Arts Commission meeting for Thursday, October 19, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. If we could please do roll call.
Good evening, everybody. Josh Planton.
Here.
Selena Jones. Here. I believe choir is on her way. Actually, no, she gave me, never mind, I take that back. Choir sends her regrets earlier today, as did Tammy Jo, so we will not have the choir or Tammy Jo tonight. Karen Burrig. Here. Trieste Andrews.
Here.
Tima Carlson.
Here.
And did I call you Jen?
No.
Jen Woodward.
Here.
Okay.
And Emma.
And Miss Emma Lugo. Where she is here. All right, thank you, everyone.
All right, our next item is to approve our minutes from September 21, 2023. Are there any edits needed?
I move to approve the minutes. I move to approve the minutes. I don't know if that's speaking.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our minutes are approved for September 21, 2023. All right.
We got a thumbs up from Emma.
So we're going to move on to public comment. Do we have any speakers?
I did not, we do have a presenters, but I did not receive any public comment as the start of today's meeting.
Okay. And let's review our agenda. Are there any changes for the agenda for October 19th?
Does everybody have a printed copy? Does anybody want? Okay.
All right. Do we need to make a motion for approval of the agenda? Yes?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda for October 19 is adopted. Our first presentation today, we have Nancy Bush and Judge Kathie Steele. If you can please come to the front.
We're going to be discussing artwork for the new county courthouse. That construction has begun. We're excited to have both the judge and Nancy here tonight.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Judge Steele, Kathie Steele. I've been up, last time I was up here, it was to talk to the city council about building the new courthouse. Nancy Bush is with the county. She is
I'm the county operating officer, but I'm also the project manager for the courthouse.
there you go. And I'm the liaison from OJG and the courthouse and everybody that's there now with our project company that is building the new building. We are pouring the 6th floor this week, and we should have a roof on in December,
In
right?
December, yes.
And then they'll finish,
What they call
need
the
to do.
envelope.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be
right.
done around January, so.
But we should move in May of 2025. So, yeah, next May. The year after that. We are fast, but we are not that fast. Anyway, we did happen to bring a blueprint, basically, of what we're doing. And Nancy and I also happen to be on the Arts Committee for the new courthouse. Interestingly enough, because this is a county building and not a state building, the 1% contribution of the project company to the building and provision and FFEs, et cetera, for the building doesn't apply. So we are scrambling because we have various spaces that we would like to have artwork there and to represent various different things. And so we have created, the County has created, an arts committee. I'm on it, another judge, several commissioners.
Two of our elected officials, yes, two commissioners. We have two members at large as well from the community, and we actually sent that out and we interviewed for those positions as well. And I think
Anyway,
that's it,
so,
yeah.
so we are doing fundraising to get up the money to be able to provide art in the new courthouse. We also have prioritized where we want the art to be and in what stages we want to do it, because we can't do it all at once. You know, if I had an extra couple mil in my pocket, I'd give it, but I don't, so there you go. Anyway, but we have various people involved, yes.
Pardon me, and maybe we can, if you want me to wait questions for, we can do that.
You
but-
can jump in whenever you want, I don't care.
And I'm sorry that I don't know which of the county commissioners are on the,
Yeah, it's Chair Smith and Commissioner Schrader.
thank you.
Okay. Anyway, so
Do you have the names of everybody with you that are on that art committee?
I might be able to remember them. I'm sorry, because I didn't come prepared for that. So it's myself, Judge Smith, you're Judge Smith, Judge.
good job. Judge
Right.
Steele,
Judge
also
Steele.
Judge Norby.
And Judge Norby.
Right.
Yes. John George, who is with the tribe. Ariana, and I honestly don't remember
I don't remember
Ariana's
her
last
last
name, and she actually works with children with schools, like trauma-informed. She does trauma-informed art. Paul,
She's also with the Potters.
oh, that's right, and she's also with the Potters Organization, which we're working with them right now to get some children's things in the respite area. Paul Rummel, I believe, he is just, someone who works with a lot of, not works with, but knows a lot of artists in the community and, has a love for art. We have, let me think, Caroline Hill, who actually staffs the committee with me. And,
County and you.
yeah, and I think, yeah,
There
from
you
the
go.
county and me, I think that's it.
You know, we've been talking to other people that aren't on the committee, but it's like, how do we think about this? What are the important things that we want to project in the art that's going to be in the courthouse? I don't know if any of you have been to the new Multnomah County Courthouse. Oh my God. They have an amazing piece of art in the entryway, their lobby, which is in and of itself millions of dollars. But it is really, truly beautiful, and we don't have that, all right? We clearly have made a point to fund and build this courthouse, not exactly on a shoestring, but close to. We don't have the types of funding that Multnomah County did to build their courthouse. So we are being judicious about where we spend our money, especially for artwork at this point, and where we're going to put it. And I'm happy to explain that to you and talk to you about that. Yes,
I think Emma has a question.
okay.
I'm sorry that we're having trouble with your audio, Emma. Do you want to just type it in the chat?
I'll wait for that. In the meantime, I don't know if any of you have been into the current Clackamas County Courthouse in downtown Oregon City, but there is a statue on the first floor, the entry floor that you come into. It's called Lady Justice. It was originally on the top of the 1880-something courthouse originally.
He was the original, yes.
Yeah, on the original one, and they took it down, and it's been sitting in a warehouse until several years ago, and then it was restored and put in there, and we're going to move that into the lobby of the new courthouse. Anyway, we also are trying to keep whatever art we have coming in to be trauma-informed. We have ideas to, focus on Oregon and Clackamas County, and, our artists and artwork representatives from hopefully Clackamas County first and then consider others. But we're looking at things that, that are here in Oregon City and Clackamas County, the mountain, the river, the falls, historically, and what that means to us otherwise, to give that kind of a feeling to the building. I think we have, several people have pretty strong ideas about what that should look like. It's going to be fun making that decision, but at this point, Why don't you talk about our grant?
Yes, so, and actually, so the Clackamas Arts Alliance is also working with us as well. They are gonna be our, they're going to hold the money.
Agent.
Thank you, yeah, our financial agent, because there are grants that we cannot apply for as county government, but they can. And just recently, the county commissioners agreed to give them $200,000 seed money from our lottery dollars that we get. And we're able to do that because we are using local artists, we are using, wanting to do, it would be educational because it needs to be about our culture, who we are here in Clackamas County. So that is some seed money that they're getting, and that's $200,000 again. And all of you probably know Diane Alves, so she's also on the committee. And so she's been working with us very closely. So that is where we're getting seed money. She is working on trying to find, she's already found a couple of grants that we can use or that we can apply for. And then she's looking for more. And now that we have money that we know that we can match it with, we're hoping to be able to find some more that we'll be able to do. And as Judge Steele said too, we don't have the money Multnomah County had, and just to make sure you understand too, they got money from the city of Portland tax is how they got their millions of dollars.
Their parking money.
And we
Put
got,
money into the parking, things down there, and I went to that.
yeah, so that is, and we don't have any of that here in Clackamas County, so that's why we're working with Diane as well. And of course, they know local artists, so that's where we're starting, that's our seed money. And hopefully we can make that grow. We don't know for sure how we're going to open this up to artists, but we're working on that now and what that may look like. So I don't know if we want to go into where we're looking at or.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Why not? One of the things was when we found out you guys were here. I'm
that's
not an
true.
artist.
That's
What do I
true.
know about this? I don't, okay? So this was a whole new thing for me.
Yes.
And we had talked to some folks at RAC in,
Yes.
and
Yes, in Portland.
Portland. And then the Clackamas Arts Alliance. And then we found, well, let's talk to you guys. Want to know what we're doing? If you have some ideas, we think this would be great.
And
I had Brian Nava contact me.
that's right. We were just going like, where did this come from?
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
Okay, but that's correct. Thank you for reminding me because I couldn't remember. So we really appreciate that. So we were hoping that, there might be something we can partner on. We don't know exactly how you function and what types of things you do. I don't know if you only do outdoor art or if you guys have other things going. But we're here to learn from you as much as you were to learn from us.
And give you an idea of what we're looking for.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of what our priorities are. There are specific areas in the courthouse that are number one priority. Yes, ma'am? Yes?
Our IT person just wanted to make sure your mic was on.
Well, that's a little red thing's on, so I think so.
Yeah.
Oh,
She does.
is it on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
I just want to make sure the little red dot for their.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, we have some priorities there. When you come into the lobby, for example, in addition to Lady Justice, there's one wall that is required under the contract to be an acoustical panel or panels. And so we're looking at what we can make that look like. Flat, textured, whatever. The second floor, the second floor,
Sorry,
there's,
do you know the approximate size of that?
I know exactly what the size is, but I don't have it with me today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can provide that to you? Yes, I do, actually. We also have on the second floor, which is open on a balcony to the open lobby, has a much bigger piece of wall that we had considered and are still working on. It's supposed to, under the contract, be acoustical panels. And it's required to muffle some of the sound because of the two-story lobby. But we had talked about having those panels covered with like photographs or photography,
Or like a painting of,
various things. We can
Yeah,
also,
there's-
I found the same company that is doing the acoustical panels also does some very, very interesting artwork using different colors and textures of their type of panel material. That could be their, Mount Hood, and then mountains or hills, and then the river, and all that kind of stuff. So those are all possibilities. Then we have, there's an elevator shaft for the public. Actually, there's 4 of them, but each floor has what we call an elevator bay, and it has a 10 by 10 foot wall at the end. So you walk in, there's 2 elevators on each side, and then there's that wall. So we were talking about, let's get some art in there. Let's, open it up to the tribes, and maybe one could be historical, and one could be about indigent people, and one could be about the other nationalities of folks that are here in Clackamas County. I mean, we have various different things, and we got 6 floors. So we have 6 of those things we have to fill up. So those are, I think, mostly our
Those are the priorities,
inside.
yes.
Yes.
And well, the children's respite area is also
Yes.
priority, and the juvenile waiting area as
Right.
well.
We have a floor that has 2, what we call juvenile courtrooms, because they don't have jury boxes in them. So all the juvenile court stuff will be there, although we can do other things in those courtrooms too. But we have some special children waiting rooms there that we're going to put stuff in there for kids. Yes.
So Arts Commissioner Emma Lugo, who's calling in, she would like to know a little bit more, and I know that's part of your reasoning for coming tonight, is to
Right.
talk about the solicitation process
Right.
and some of your ideas about how you'll get artists engaged.
This is not what I do. This is not what you do. But we have the folks from the Clackamas County Arts Alliance
Great,
that are
awesome,
there, who just like RAC, and I have talked to several people at RAC about how do you do that? How do you put the call out for artists for this particular project, for this, and these are the types of things we're looking at. You come to us and show us what you can do or would like to do, and how much would that cost, kind of thing. So it's very, very similar to what they have done in the past. So I don't know how to tell you about that more than I already have, because again, that's not my area of expertise. Yes.
Are they going to be permanent installations?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not hanging stuff and changing it later.
Okay.
We're going in.
Okay.
But literally, it's not just 3D, 2D, or whatever, I mean, we've talked about like wood installations
Yes.
especially on the elevator walls, one could be something like that.
Or even metal, or.
Yeah, whatever, we're open. I mean, we have places we have identified outside for public art on the outside of the courthouse. But I think at this point, it's like we've got blank walls that are real obvious, and we need to fill up some of those. on
And
the
there's other
outside.
art we have when we put in the DSB and the PSB, so there's some already art out there. The flags will go there, like in front of the courthouse, so it did become a lower priority for
And
those reasons.
and we have some in the old courthouse too, including some old historical photos that'll probably go up in some places, some of the waiting rooms and that kind of thing. So we're gonna reuse those, but this is, what can we do? It's hard for me to imagine what that would mean to an artist thinking, oh, what could I do with a 10-foot square wall, kind of thing. I don't know, but it'll be exciting for us and to be able to see it. Now, in Multnomah County, for example, and I know this has happened in a couple of different new courthouses around the state and elsewhere. For example, the 5th floor would be red. So all of their upholstery there was red, and all their artwork there was red, and then the next floor was blue, and the next floor was green, and I thought that was kind of weird, but it looks cool, I don't know how you tell somebody, give me artwork that's purple. But we've decided not to go that way, so, we're basically putting out what we're looking for in our communities when we advertise and put a call out. I understand, that's the word, right? Call
out, yeah.
I think, for that artwork in a particular place. Yes, ma'am?
So you had said that,
What is that? Is that?
I don't know. I'm sorry that we're having some audio issues this evening, but let me see if we can figure that out. Hold on.
Okay, somebody's talking about muffins.
Yeah.
They're coming with muffins.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know,
So
but she's,
you had mentioned that there was $200,000 in seed money.
Yes.
And so is the intent then to be able to get a certain amount in grants or use that to seed a certain amount? Or do you have like goals that way?
Our experience so far has been that for 90% of the grants we've been looking at, they won't give you money if you have nothing in the pot. So the county puts something in the pot, that's
Right.
our seed money, all right? So maybe we can use that to, double what they
Yeah,
have.
we're just trying to, that's there to leverage some of those grants we've been looking at.
Right,
Right.
oh, okay,
Do
I just didn't know if you
I
had
have
an
a number in
amount.
mind, I don't expect to get there.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I don't expect
But
to get there.
we're also exploring, and I think it's gonna happen, a project for bricks in the
donations.
courtyard, donation bricks,
oh, right.
in the courtyard in front of the courthouse. So we've been talking about that, and we found some folks that can do it at a reasonable price so that we can actually make some money off of it and then use that money just for our work in the building. And if you guys have any ideas about how best we could go about this or get other fundraising, we're happy to hear. Yes, ma'am.
it sounds like the audio that we were picking up was coming from Emma, so I think we may have that issue fixed. Emma, let's try again if you have a question.
Sure.
Yay!
Thank you so much for coming tonight. I was really hoping we would have some involvement in the new courthouse. What specifically would you like from the Oregon City Arts Commission with regard to the courthouse?
I'm not supposed to swear, right? Okay, I don't care. We will take whatever help and ideas you have that you can give us, okay? Would you like to say, hey, we will take care of a couple of those elevator walls? I don't know, all right? I don't know if your assistance can just be technical. It's like, how about you do this? Or we know about these people that do this kind of thing, or you should contact these folks to, whether or not it's grants or they can contribute artwork or something like that. Or would you like to volunteer to take a particular area or wall or waiting room area or something like that? I don't know. We're just here to tell you what we're doing, and you guys can go with it and see it, talk
maybe-
amongst yourself. Yes.
Maybe a good collaboration for us would be to take on a couple of projects with regard to the courthouse and put out RFIs. So that would be like a request for proposals from artists. Once we know the sites and can do a site description.
Right.
And once we know what the grant amount would be for the site, then we could do, an RFP and do our process, which we do as an arts commission, which is review artist proposals and then submit our recommendation to you.
Sure.
That's one idea.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think when you say that too, because that's something that Diane is also doing for us as well, and it would be really, if you guys could even help with that process with Diane, because she's part-time too, she's not a full-time director either. And I know she would even, love the help too, of support as well.
Yeah, I think a few of us here, I know at least me and Tima, we stay in touch with Diane at least once a month, so we're
Right.
in good contact with her. And she is amazing.
She is.
There are 2 halftime people there that are doing, I don't even know how they do it.
Yeah, I agree. And so I know
she's
that she
amazing.
would love that support as well.
Great. I think we're unanimous that we would like to coordinate with the Clackamas Art Alliance, and that's great. Yeah.
And rather, even then, perhaps, I'm not committing anything, okay? So, okay. But, maybe that would be a great way to collaborate is along with the Clackamas Arts Alliance. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead
Yeah,
of
we're-
directly with us or something
We
like
didn't ask
that.
Diane that before we came, but we're sure.
But
she
we're
would.
here to tell you what we're
Yes.
doing and to see if you have any, would like to do more. Okay?
You know, I have a question. As a committee, are you deciding on a theme for the courthouse or themes for different area? Or if you were to ask us, oh, can you do the elevators or whatever, that we have free reign to send out an RFP with ideas? Like, how much are you involved as your committee?
So the committee is pretty involved, and I will say too that Judge Steele did say we really need to commit to, it's like, trying to do artists that are here in Clackamas County, or at least in Oregon, Pacific Northwest. But it also has to, what the art is, has to represent us, Clackamas County, our heritage in some way. Part of this, to be honest with you, is a requirement of the lottery dollars. But that was something we discussed about early on. It's like, which is why John George is on there, for example. It's like, something from, the native tribes and, and that were here. Something about our woods, something about the waterways, those types of things. So it's really important that we do our heritage, our history, and also who we are now.
We have, we are still compiling, but have compiled a list of things that we are interested in being reflected in the courthouse in a trauma-sensitive manner. And so I can pass that on to you, Ann, and then you can get it to everybody else so you have something in front of you to look at too. Okay?
I mean, this is just a personal remark, but I think it's extremely important as Oregon City starts the murals again in Oregon City, that there's a real true representation of the history of Oregon City and Clackamas County, which can be rather dark, but there's the Confederated Tribes, and there is the Asian influence, and there's the Black pioneers. And I think it would be amazing if that could be incorporated, not just as the white settlers that came to Oregon City or Clackamas County, but all of the influence that made us who we are.
Contemporaneously, I also think it's really important to reflect now our Hispanic and Russian population in Clackamas County, which is huge.
Can be, it's huge.
Yeah, it's really big. So we'd like to see all of that in some respect there. Now, we did bring a plan of the courthouse. If you guys, I'm happy to play, guide here for our show and tell. If we can hold it up, or how do you want to do this?
I think we definitely can. Emma has one more question, and then
Okay.
after we have that question, I think we can
You want
all
to come
get up
down
and
here?
walk around.
We'll show you what we got, and then you can ask
so
questions
Let's
down
first
here.
take this question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Emma.
Thanks. So a couple of questions. One is, how is the decision process regarding art going to actually be made at the courthouse? Is it going to be the art commission that you yourselves have appointed? So are you looking to us more for advice? Or like Trieste was saying, if we picked a couple of spots and we used those criteria you just gave us, would we be choosing the artist for that site based on their RFP?
So we would actually, I will say that the commission or the committee will have final say. And we would definitely work with you, because we don't want you to put something out that isn't going to work for us, but that committee will have the final say.
But I expect you guys, because of what you're doing, have your, hand on the pulse, right? Of what's going on in terms of artists in this area, and any help you can give in terms of passing all that out would be terrific.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Anyway, anything else, Emma?
Just, would you like to work with a designated representative from the Arts Commission?
That would
Such
be
as our
handy.
chair?
That would be handy. That would be
really
handy.
helpful.
Right, yeah.
That's a great question. Now we'll have to figure out how we want to appoint that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay.
Do people want to go
You
around?
guys want to
and-
look? Come on down.
Just if you have a question, please talk into the microphone.
let you move
first.
Okay, thank
Because I don't want to trip
I
you.
don't know, I appreciate that, I do, okay? All right, I'm gonna get in the back here, this is the front, over here, okay? This is the outside portion. Yeah, okay. This shows the plan where the courthouse is, or will be, okay? Here's the Public Services Building and the Development Services Building up there, and the current Circle of Honor there. So we're gonna be on the west side, looking at Mount Hood. Okay, Mount Hood is that way. And the designers picked up on this whole courtyard thing, these, are those wood?
Yeah, these are wood.
And brick in between,
Yes.
but that's very, very similar and in indicia of the natives fishing in the Willamette River, right out here.
This is all wood that's from Clackamas County.
Right,
It was it was a requirement of any plan, like whenever we sent the RFP out.
Yeah.
It was a requirement that they have some wood in there and it had to be from.
and there's some also on the inside, but
Yes.
they incorporated this on the outside. And if you can, this is the basement, you don't care about the basement, I'm moving past the basement. You can go on the Clackamas County website and go to, it has a little thing that you can put up something in there and do replacement courthouse project. And there will be an animated, a flyby, if you will, of what the courthouse will look like from the outside and then what it'll look like from the inside. But the entrance,
By the way, it's down at the bottom of the page, don't get frustrated.
yeah, keep going. But here's the entrance, and then this is all lobby here. Over here is administration, over here is the child respite thing, public defense, the sheriff's office is over here. This is public information and the library, and there's a little, cafe there. And then, so, this is, yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
go ahead, have at
You
it.
can participate.
Yeah.
Ask folks to please just take a little step back so that the camera, because there's a camera looking on.
Okay,
And,
you got it? Okay. So I basically went through here and highlighted areas that we knew that we were prioritizing for art. So that's where Lady Justice is gonna be in the lobby. This is the elevator bay as everybody comes in. They'll see that one and all the other ones up there. This is one of the long walls and another long wall. We know we need art in there.
This is that corrugated that she was talking about for the sound.
Yeah, right. Okay, now notice there's a stairway that comes up here to the second floor, and when you go to the second floor, thank you so much, this is a bigger wall up here, all right? And then the elevator bay, again, I goofed, this is a back wall, this is in the DA's office, they're on their own. Sorry, that's me. That's not coming out of our pocket. Anyway, but up here is the district attorney's office, okay? And then this is all jury assembly. And if you notice in downtown Oregon City, the jury assembly room is in a different building than the courthouse. And those people have to go through the rain to get into the thing, and they're all gonna be right there, okay? So, yeah. And then third floor has a couple of the standard courtrooms. And then waiting areas in the back are all the judges' chambers. So we're all facing suburbia and, the afternoon sun. But if
Judge Steele's office.
I'm right there, but if you are right here in this hallway that gets you into any of these courtrooms, right there is Mount Hood. So you're gonna see that. But we have space on some of the walls then in these big waiting areas. And then I think the back hallways are just where staff and judges and stuff, security is gonna be. Well, probably, that's not a priority, but these are the ones where the public is gonna be. This whole back of the house, if you will, is not accessible to the public. The public comes up here and they come in these courtrooms. These are the two juvenile ones, so we do have one of the juvenile waiting rooms right here, so. Okay, if you have any questions as we go along, let me know. On the next floor, which is 4, actually, see, that's where I really am, right here. 4 has 2 courtrooms. Each floor has a large courtroom and a standard or
standard or 3 other standard courtrooms, except for that, we'll have the 2. But notice, these 2 courtrooms are not finished. These are what are going to be warm shells. We, right now, because of the population in Clackamas County, need 14. This is 15 and 16. So we're just going to do everything else, finish it up when we need them. And we don't need them now, so we're not going to pay for it now, okay? Anyway, so, but again, there's artwork there, there's artwork there, and then there's some back of the hall, back of the house stuff. Yes. Yes, yes. And then again, yeah, again, here is this floor, 5 and 6 are exactly the same. Elevator and the waiting room areas, okay? So
just to let you know too, there's some extra strapping, because a lot of these places like here, it's just gonna be, it's like, we can only hang like regular stuff, because we can't afford to go strap.
or we could do a mural. Somebody could do a mural on there. Right.
Nothing heavy on it.
Right.
All of the elevators.
Here.
These walls are.
Heavy duty.
He said you can hang a truck from them, and I'm like, oh. Wait, no trucks, don't get any. So that will be strapped, and then the rest, the children's respite area, we're having it strapped, because that's where we're putting some of the clay art.
And when you say
And tie.
strapped, can you explain?
It's got, metal,
Brackets,
yeah,
you kind of
Behind the wall, built into it.
behind the
Yes.
wall. So it hangs it, you have to drill into it, you can hang yourself.
But people know where it is. I mean, they will know where it is, and that will be part of the installation and notifying all the artists too, what's there.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yes.
We can avoid broadcasting whoever's talking into the microphone.
So juvenile will also, the juvenile waiting area will also have strapping. And we will, have strapping in the jury room. And then on the
Strapping in the jury assembly room.
Yes. And then the other place we will have strapping, well, it won't be strapping, but they will be able to hang anything we want. Of course, the first floor.
What are you looking for?
First floor.
Next one.
Yeah. So we have heavy seals and a plaque that we'll put up like we have in the DSB and the PSB. They're brass, and they're gonna go on this wall here, but this wall is concrete, so we'll be able to drill into it. But it will have a wood, what do you call it, like a wood veneer on it. Yeah, so that's also what will be there too. So this one will not be strapped. So anyway, you have certain areas. Oh, that's true, that's a good point. So there's certain places we have strapped that we know we have strapping that we can put heavier pieces. And and also the bathrooms, that bathroom area too. Where's the bathroom? Oh yeah, so this wall right here is gonna be strapped on all floors.
We are getting one question from Emma.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Emma.
So would it be useful to have a representative from the Arts Commission meet with somebody from your Arts Committee and kind of do a site review and maybe create a list of places? So we know the dimensions, maybe what's possible for the space, and we'll have kind of a list of things that we can work with as an Arts Committee, either our designated person or the commission as a whole, with your commission.
I think that would be a good idea. Our committee we're having kind of, I'm going to call them kind of the worker bees starting to meet. And like the judges won't come to all the meetings, and neither will our elected officials. So probably getting into that meeting is a really good place for us to start having those conversations.
But we can provide that information. We can provide the information of the specifics that we have regarding wall space and whether or not it's strapped and, what potentially could go there. Yeah, in dimensions, okay?
Thank you. Do you have a timeline for any of this? You told us when you hope the space will be done,
May
but
25.
Well, actually, a little bit earlier than that. So the first deadline has just passed, and that was where we were going to have strapping, what was going on there, and what our priorities are. So that is done. We chose not to have anything that, like mobiles or anything hanging out of ceilings, like on that first floor, so that is done. We won't be able to do that now because we don't have the reinforcements to do that, because we chose not to do that. So what comes up next, so I think we need to look at this, but I think probably we need to start installing no later than probably March of '25, which means March or April. We'd need to have it done and figure out how we're gonna have it installed. We have to pay for installation too, by the way. Just so you, nothing's free, nothing's free.
But, you know, my understanding is we can ask that that be part of the application process from ours to say, yeah, we'll do this, and this is what it's gonna cost to create it, and this is what it's gonna cost to produce it, and this is what it's gonna cost to install it. So, yeah, we can go all there, okay? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, thanks. Okay. We'll send you a list, okay?
If you guys can let us know who will be our contact, just, that'd be great. We don't know yet. The commissioners have not decided.
I would recommend first we ask our chair,
recede for a few
because
more-
I mean,
a
our
few more
chair
questions.
normally,
Thank you.
unless there's somebody like within this group who's really attached to like doing that, but otherwise I think procedurally, it would be best to go through the chair for something like this, because it's gonna be kind of complicated. It involves a lot of communication among the whole Oregon City Arts Commission. And our chair is very well skilled and suited to do this kind of work if she's interested in it.
Yeah, we could decide at our next meeting.
How often does the Arts Committee meet? And when is your next meeting? So that'll give us a deadline for when we need to have our,
Well, our next meeting is Monday,
oh, well.
so you don't have to have it by Monday. And then we'll have another meeting, we usually have them 2 weeks, every 2
Okay,
weeks.
okay.
And they're on Mondays at noon.
Right. We had, we had some 5 o'clock meetings, but we didn't get as many people.
Yeah, people started getting hangry about the time.
Anyway, any other questions? So we will create a list of what our priority places are in the building with their dimensions, whether or not their strapped are able to take heavier
Or
items.
if it's a nice place for a mural, that kind of things,
Yeah,
we'll let you know
right.
that.
And present that to you, and then give you a list of all of the things that we're looking for in terms of the type of artwork that we hope will be in the courthouse. I didn't show you, but there are a bunch of places on that first thing, the yellow ones, that is where we had anticipated public art was gonna be outside. So there's about 5 of them. Okay, that we would like to get to eventually, but we know we're not gonna do it first, okay? Okay?
Terrific. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
want to say that I'm so thrilled that you thought of the Arts Commission
Well, thank you very
for this
much.
project. I mean, to get our input, I was really hoping somebody would, and you did, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
we
your
appreciate
time.
it.
Thank you very much. We
Yeah,
appreciate
we
you
very much appreciate you
presenting.
coming.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna make you take these.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
It's a good thing she had me. Just saying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna move on to discussion items. Our first item is the revised schedule for request for qualifications, assessment of Oregon City's public art collection.
This is really an update I wanted.
I have a,
Go ahead, go
Tina, I
ahead,
have
Emma.
a question just procedurally regarding the last item. That
Please.
just, I mean, the courthouse. I feel like there's a lot of a lot of unanswered questions procedurally about how we're going to move forward in that collaboration. is there a time at this meeting today that we can take to have that conversation?
Well, at the end, prior to adjournment, we can discuss tabled items and have that listed under, I would imagine.
If you,
Should we do that in the next meeting though, Emma? Because if you want to involve our chair as potentially someone who goes to the meetings, we may want her at least involved in that strategy development.
I mean, I do think we have a
That
little
makes
bit of.
sense to do it.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit of time on the agenda. I mean, we don't have we have the luxury of not having an overly packed agenda tonight, so if we do want to take a little bit of time, I feel like.
Well, I have a similar question maybe to Emma's is there anything that from Oregon City perspective would limit what we can do with Clackamas County? I'm thinking almost like if we're dedicating resources to a project that's for Clackamas County versus Oregon City, is that are we gonna get told no at some point? I'd hate for it to get up to the point where we're doing stuff and then we get told to stop because Oregon City, hasn't signed off on it or something.
Well, it seems like we could focus on Oregon City artists first, and maybe that can be a stipulation that we bring to the table as we offer aid, is saying, hey, this is our expertise and this is our community, and that would give us more Oregon City presence in that courthouse too. where we can-
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea, but I'm just wondering, since it is it's not an Oregon City project, right? Would be like us working on a project in, any other county. I know we're in this county, but technically they're separate entities. So that's my only concern is that we're gonna get to a point and Oregon City's gonna come in and say, wait, hold on, we're not allowed to.
Yeah, I'll certainly ask. I think that's a valid question. My own response to that is because Oregon City is the Clackamas seat. It makes sense for us to play a leadership role. I think the coordination with the Clackamas County Arts Alliance we can figure that out with Diane. I will specifically ask I'll ask our city manager and also James for direction that way. I mean, frankly, I think it's just gonna become a bandwidth issue for us because we're already doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's a good question and I will follow up.
I can see
go ahead.
something weird come out of this, from the side on us on it and be like, oh, we had no idea.
I think an important question to go with
It
that,
seems to me that,
excuse me.
sorry, Therese.
Yeah, I think an important question to go with that is resources. I don't want to use our limited resources as the Oregon City Art Commission to finance a project in the courthouse. I would like to see if there's money somewhere in the city or the county. I know they have $200,000 seed money, but that's the only thing I want to be careful of. Me and Josh went to the budget meeting thinking we were gonna get a ton, and it was promising, and then it was gone.
At first, yeah.
So that, I just want to kind of make sure we hold on to that as we need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that real quick,
That's a good point.
yeah, especially thinking of that we can have input, but it's gonna be limited input. When the final call comes, it's gonna be a different group of people, and how comfortable are we, like, ceding that, decision-making power? If we're doing the work, it makes sense to be involved. I'm excited to be involved, but those are conversations that we should definitely figure out.
Yes.
All good points.
Emma?
Sure. It seems to me that, one really useful thing that we could do as an arts commission is, empower a representative from our arts commission to maybe sit on their committee if they'll accept someone from the art commission on.
Uh-oh. You're muted.
You're muted, Emma. Emma, you're muted. You're on mute.
Like the video's fine, but.
We'll obviously reach out to Diane, let her know that we had this conversation, that we're interested in having representation on the
I'm
courthouse.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Anyways, all I was saying was that it seems like it would be useful for us as an arts commission to send a representative to their committee if they'll accept one of us, and then that person can report back to us and figure out how we can be most useful as an arts committee in supporting the courthouse getting art. So that's my suggestion.
Moving on.
Okay, any other items to mention for this presentation? Okay, we're going to move on to the discussion items then. As previously mentioned, the public art collection.
Thanks. No, I appreciate you being flexible in the order of discussion items. I wanted to give people an update just to let people know that when we met in September, we had talked about the RFQ or the going out October 2nd. It did not go out that day. It ended up going out on October 12th for a variety of reasons. I was out sick one day and there was a couple other things going on. So that explains the delay, but that's the reason why we don't have that. We're going to talk about it in November rather than tonight. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of the change in the date that the RFQ went out. We will have, I'll make sure you get all of the submissions that we receive a week prior to our November meeting so that we can select the contractor that we want to work with based upon what we receive at our November discussion. So far, we've received one application, or one submission, I should say. So we'll see how many more we get.
And what's the deadline again, Anne, for submissions?
November 5th or 3rd?
Did everybody get a copy of the revised RFQ?
I had it online, but I don't have it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I feel like it would be very beneficial to submit the RFQ to maybe universities or where students are going to school for learning curatorship, for, museums and whatnot. I'm not sure what type of education is associated with that, but I think having interns or somebody that's learning the process of
I think that's good. I also think that's important for that person to have a familiarity with murals, with the restoration of murals, hopefully with sculptures, that they have enough information that they'd be able, because they're going to have to not only look at the, what kind of condition it is, but how much would it be, what would it take to be able to. And so I think I love that idea, send it out too, but as long as whoever we choose has enough information, enough education and knowledge to be able to put that together.
And I think that I read the application earlier today. I think it definitely mentions experience with murals. I believe it also did with sculpture. So I think they put that, it's at least nice that they put that stipulation in the application.
And to answer your question, Tria, so the way the new schedule reads, the deadline is Friday, November 3rd. So I'll make sure that you all have it a week before we meet again, so that you have a week to review. And then the contractor selected will have until February 12th, so keeping that sort of the same amount of time that was in the original release. Now the deadline is February 12th.
All right, any other comments for the revised schedule? Okay, let's move on to a review of vacancies, recruitment of new commission members.
I wanted to let folks know, so we have 3 positions coming open at the end, so 3 people are rolling off at the end, or have the 3 terms. So Tammy, Selena, and Jen are coming out, the terms will end at the end of the year. So you obviously don't have to say anything right now, but we've received 1 application so far. But just wanted to give people a heads up. There's the opportunity to reach out to other folks in the community and see if people are interested in joining us here at the Arts Commission. And wanted to give people the time to think about their roles. If they want to come, they will be 3-year terms. They won't be staggered like now we're all equal. When we first launched or reinstituted the Arts Commission, we had staggered appointments, but now everybody will be, so they're 3-year appointments.
So does the city do some advertising for open commission spaces is one question, and when is the close date for the applications?
I know that the city recorder has made some public postings for all of the different various commissions that have openings. There are a number of them in addition to ourselves. There aren't any specific promotions just for Arts Commission. So I do think it makes sense for us to be thinking about who we want to reach out to, who else we want to maybe invite to participate. Because I think it's a relatively limited public it is a public process, but it could use additional support in terms of outreach and letting people know about what we do and welcoming people to.
And do we have any open seats right now? And who's stepping down at the end of this year?
I don't know yet. I mean, that hasn't been determined, but I mentioned the 3 whose terms expire in December. People are welcome to throw their hat back in, of course. But I'm just raising the issue so people know what's going on.
When will we know who, or when are you expecting a decision from those people if they want to throw their hat back in or not?
That's also a good question. Maybe by I haven't determined when that deadline would be. Yeah, I want to give people time to process it. So, yeah.
And I know.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, for other committees that I've worked with, it seems that they take all of the the folks reapply, and then you have the list of folks both who are reapplying and new members, and then that's who are considered. So I don't know if there's an automatic, if I'm interested in staying, you automatically get that. I don't know what our bylaws say, but it seems to me it would make sense that everybody would be considered at the same time.
Well, I thought that's how we handled Josh and Emma too, that it was a reapplication.
Yeah, and we did at the December meeting
Yeah.
last year. Or we
Right,
interviewed
yeah.
at the December
And you
meeting.
have to,
Also,
you have to reapply. The only reason I asked who was stepping down is that there's usually not a lot of people applying for these positions. And so it actually kind of helps to know like who wants to stay on and who we need to go and look for to fill that spot. That's why I asked.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I guess if we were going to be determining at the December meeting, then we would need to have that deadline a little sooner than I was thinking. Yeah, that's right. Well, I will ask our city recorder if there is an established deadline, but I assume if we're going to be making those decisions and now that I was thinking we had more time, but if we're going to make the decision at the December meeting, then obviously we'll have to have people's applications into us earlier, so.
Can they add
And
more
do we decide or doesn't the mayor decide who sits on the commission?
I remember we went through an interview process in December last year, so I think it's, I think,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
We give our recommendations and I think the mayor has to sign off.
Final decision.
Is what I remember.
Okay.
what is the process of adding more seats to the Arts Commission?
Would think that'd be the commission would have to approve that, wouldn't they?
I would think it would be in the bylaws, how many seats there are, and then there probably would need to change in the bylaws.
Yeah, our bylaws does, you're correct, Karen, that the bylaws state the 9 seats, yeah.
Okay, any other comments regarding review of vacancies? Okay, let's move on to communications. I guess we could discuss more of the presentation at this point as well.
We had some awesome announcements last month. There just seems like people are doing all kinds of good, interesting things.
Okay, do we want to go person by person? What's going on?
Well, can I actually ask a question about our last session, because I missed the September meeting, but you guys approved a strategic planning session. Was that set? Did that already happen? No, okay. Do we have a date for that? I wanted to get it in my calendar.
I think we mentioned end of January, but I don't think we had a set date.
We
but I
never picked a
remember-
date yet. January though was when we were kind of thinking we'd schedule it for.
And was that to cover how we were overseeing our budget, or I just want to make sure I'm not
I
missing it?
think we had talked about putting together, just getting a plan actually set, for next year or however many years we want to try and set it for, 3, 5, 1, if we're feeling really ambitious. And, yeah, and just get, some time dedicated to reviewing all the different things we have talked about doing and revisiting them, prioritizing them, so.
And we have not decided on the dispersal of our budget between the programs we want to cover, correct?
For the upcoming.
For the, for our current
Yeah.
budget.
I think
Yeah.
that's part of,
Yeah, I think
We have not
that's
decided on it.
part of the meeting.
Okay.
I think we, and it's recorded, but I think we mentioned like 10 different things that we wanted to cover in January. It was really exciting.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what they were, but.
Yeah, there's a list of topics in the minutes from last time. Emma brought up the percentage for the arts, looking at that again. Talking about tracking, some type of tracking system for local artists and affiliates. Talking with,
Creating a brochure.
yeah, creating the brochure, Arts Center in Oregon City, the grants program, a further evolution of that for next year.
Putting together a calendar.
Yeah, it's all sorts of things that we can have various resource dependent things, so we need to kind of prioritize which makes the most sense.
Got it.
Are we gonna do a retreat this year?
I think we were talking about it in January, just given the fact that we have 2 meetings left this year. One sounds like will be dedicated partially to reviewing QRFP replies, and one for interviews with potential commissioners.
Should those dates for that and the strategic planning session be decided in December when we have a better idea of who will be on the committee? Or is that too late?
That might be a little late. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to try to go ahead and start picking a date for January, I think we can, that makes sense. I assume it would be an additional, well, the way that we handled some of our strategic planning sessions in the past is that we extended our regular meeting times. So we can do that again, or we can have a special, and in addition, have a special dedicated meeting at the end of January. But
I always preferred the special dedicated meetings, but,
I do too,
whatever you guys want.
but I know everybody's time is precious.
And maybe an easy way to do it is to send out like a few dates that work for
Okay.
your schedule in January, and then let us know, and then people can vote on which ones work best for them.
Sure, I mean, if folks want to, do you want me to do a doodle poll, or do you want to,
Yeah.
okay.
That would help our absentees also have a
Yeah.
chance to pick, so.
And I assume this would be during the week and not a weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, evening.
That is a safe assumption. Okay. Yeah, all right. I will do that. I'll send out some suggested dates and we can, yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And then, yeah. Sounds good. Maybe like a 3-hour meeting or something like that, or? Like that.
I think that's what we've done in the
Yeah.
past, right? 3 hours?
Yeah, if we finish early, we can always end early.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's an option.
Wishful thinking.
Okay, cool.
And I'm curious, how did the Clackamas County Courthouse come around to visiting the Arts Commission? Was it the doing of someone from the commission or? from
No, I know,
the county?
I know Brian Nava from Rotary, and he's the treasurer, the Clackamas County treasurer. And so he asked me if we would be interested, so he put me in touch with Judge Steele and also Nancy, I can't remember her last name. And it took a while, it took probably about 2 or 3 months, and then they finally responded. And then I said, look, come to a meeting. I thought they might come to the last meeting, but they didn't. So I sent another email and I copied in Tammy Jo and of course Ann and said, if you want to come to this meeting, this is, so they said yes.
Well done.
Thank you, Trieste.
You're welcome.
Alrighty.
Okay, do we want to go member by member to see what's exciting news has happened since our last meeting, or any upcoming things you'd like to share?
So I'll start because I don't have anything to share.
Yeah, I'm with Rotary and we started a committee to have a welcome sign come into Oregon City. And so we're working on that now with the potential to put a small art piece or an art piece in with it. So I'm probably going to be going to the Metro Enhancement Grant next year to get that, but that's exciting. Been in touch with a vendor that looks promising. And this is so off the edge, and it just, about a year ago, I had an idea for an interactive community mural on Railroad Ave on the retaining wall that goes along the elevator. So as you know, you come up 7th, you take a left, and it's that whole wall, like, I don't know how many feet that go down. And the person that I talked to just is known for never responding, but we did have a meeting and I did get in touch with him. A whole year has gone by and he emailed me 2 days ago and said, sorry it's been so long. I had to get a lot of agreements from a lot of people, but it looks promising. I'll be in touch with you soon. And now I don't know what to do with it. Because the idea I had was a really exciting idea, but now I'm like, oh, shoot. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life, among other things.
Is that for a mural project? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's up for anything. So, I mean, I had this idea of contacting service organizations and nonprofits like Children's Center and sending each one of them because I've done this kind of thing before, send them a 4x4 MDO board. And the only thing that's going to be on the board is 2 half circles. And I'm going to put whatever Oregon City means to you in your theme of service or nonprofit. Do whatever you want. And then each of those boards will be connected, so as you go down, there'll be circles. And each one will have a name, you know, Children's Center, Rotary, or whatever it is. And so I have gotten prices and everything on how to do it, all the expenses of everything. And then called Union Pacific and it just disappeared. So I'm not sure if that's still a viable idea, or who wants to do it.
I'm just curious if, because of the RAC conversation about the mural program, if that's a
That's
potential
another
connection.
idea. That's another excellent idea. I'm up for anything. I'm just excited that they said, yeah, that it looks like something they'll do.
You know, it's
Um,
interesting, yeah, I'd like to propose that we have we dedicate some time to next month's meeting to talking about murals, because I know, well, also James would like to come next month, so James Graham from, well, you know, James, would like to, meet with you next month to talk about elevating the, profile of the Arts Commission and
Oh,
wanting
good.
to underscore the importance of art to the community. He has some ideas and wants to share, get feedback from you all, and, I think talking about getting some additional information about the Arts Commission on the city's webpage is something we've talked about. He's very supportive of that idea. So he's gonna, you know, come next month, and I know that he would also like to be part of that conversation about a mural. And I know Soul Flags has ideas about a mural as well. So I would love to dedicate some time next month to that.
That'd be great.
So speaking of Soul Flags, we had our first first cultural event last weekend. It was the Hispanic Heritage Festival Celebration, or I can't remember the exact title, but Hispanic Heritage, and funded by the Oregon City Arts Commission. So thank you very much. We had great vendors and performers and activities and food, and it was very well enjoyed, held at Gardner Middle School. Our next event will be Diwali in November 19, at Pioneer Community Center. So we'll start sharing that. So if you're interested to, you know, see and find out the happenings at Soul Flags and throughout the community, contact me or sign up on our newsletter. And the Fall Festival is this weekend on Saturday, and there'll be lots of fun activities on Main Street from 12 to 5. So
What are the dates for the time, the times for Saturday's festival?
Saturday's festival is from 12 to 5 on Main Street. And then November 19, I believe, is the same. It's a very long festival, 12 to 5, at Pioneer Community Center.
Awesome.
I don't have any announcements, but I am curious if everybody's seen the restroom wrap.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And,
I point it out every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? How do you think it looks?
I love
Pretty
it.
good.
Yeah, I think it looks good too.
I wish they'd put something on the back, you know, that there's one blank space that you see coming up Railroad, but it looks amazing.
It went very quickly
Yes.
in and decorated.
That was exciting.
I missed that meeting, the last meeting, so very exciting.
Oh, good job. I think it looks great.
I just wanted to bring attention to an exhibit that is not in Oregon City, but that is part of, is an initiative by Art in Oregon, which Tammy Jo is the president of, and I'm a volunteer and one of the co-curators of the touring exhibit. It's called The Stone Path, and it's in its second of 3 locations now viewable at Chemeketa Community College in Salem, but it features Indigenous Oregon artists and shows some of their contemporary works alongside of work they created in an artist residency in Pendleton, Oregon, where they worked with a master printer at Crow's Shadow Artist Residency to collaborate with the master printer, working in whatever media they came from, whether that was sculpture or painting or whatever, to create these wonderful prints. So some of their prints and artwork from their original media is on display, and it's an amazing group of Oregon-based Indigenous artists that are, some of them, known nationwide. So it will be back up in the Portland area at Archer Gallery in December through January, and it's a really beautiful exhibit. So just wanted to put that out there. Again, it's at Chemeketa Community College in Salem right now.
And the same exhibit will be in Portland?
It will travel back up. It was just at Chehalem, starting in August, so, it's been really wonderful and great artists.
I don't have any announcements, but I found out that I just missed a show in Bend, which sounded really interesting to me, which was, it's a $20 art show. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but basically artists can pay, it's like $35 to exhibit there, and you get, each piece could not be any more than like 36 square inches, and they put them all up on the wall, and literally when the doors open, people can go in and look. If you like it, you take it off the wall, it's $20. Everything's $20. And in the last like 5 years, it's gone from like a few hundred pieces to like over 5,000 pieces.
Wow.
And it's cool because they were talking about like artists who don't normally do just paintings get involved in it because it's such a small piece. It allows them to kind of, mix and match some of the, styles they have. And then like students can do it. You just have to pay $35. You don't have to be a professional artist or anything. And any amount made, you get back. It goes back to the artist.
Cool fundraiser.
And it's like $5 to go in. This year they were doing a viewing day or 2 days before, and then they had opened it up on the day of sale. And you go in, and I thought that'd be it's kind of a cool concept, something to bring up at our strategy meeting if we want to look into something similar. But I thought it was just kind of a cool idea it gives everyone a chance to put their art out there and gives everyone a chance to go view all this different art and different, artists. And, the kind of the numbers just seemed reasonable to me. So I thought, maybe something we want to look at doing.
I follow this group out of Vancouver, Washington, called Dark Arbor Lodge. And it's a collective of different artists, but they did Baba Yaga huts and their little haunted houses on chicken feet. And it was kind of similar where they just opened it up to everybody to create out of any medium. They didn't sell them, but it was just a little fun, activity. And opened up to the public. But
And it was a little house that had chicken feet on it? Oh, what a great idea.
we think of it.
That'd be a fun fundraiser. Auction those off.
Emma?
Yeah, just wanted to thank the Oregon City Arts Commission for helping to fund the Willamette Falls TV studio house party, which happened at the end of last month. Although I'm no longer on the board for WFTV, the house party was a great success. There were lots of people who turned out and had a chance to tour the studios and learn more about our local community access TV center. Also that same day, thanks to Trieste and some other organizers here in Oregon City, they pulled off the Oregon City Pride Festival up at Clackamas Community College, and that was also a big success. It had lots of local folks turn out to support that community. It didn't have anything to do with the Arts Commission, but it was a very nice event. So I thought those were both a couple really positive things recently here in Oregon City. So that's all I've got for right now. Thanks.
Awesome. I wonder if you could share about Tammy Jo, that email that you sent out regarding where.
Yeah, Tammy Jo was, Tammy Jo has an exhibit up at the Portland Art Museum as part of their Black Artists of Oregon exhibit. And last Saturday, Tammy was doing workshops for the public up at the Portland Art and about their art.
Pretty
I
cool.
think she had a presentation there. I tried to make it, and then I had something come on my calendar last minute, but I saw her that morning, and yeah, she had a presentation from 3 to 4, and she was pretty excited
Yeah, it was an excellent presentation about her work and her curatorial work.
You were able
Yeah,
to.
I was there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Anne, do you have anything to share?
No, I'm good.
All right, well, looks like we are adjourned at 8:22.
Thank you, everybody.